Welcome, we're glad to have you once again. This video is about the Herald of Purity Crest of Desire Guardian, which also uses Dominating Blow. The combination of Herald of Purity and Gravebind is an established way to perpetuate a cycle of self-summoning powerful minions. Normally you'd have to hit or kill an enemy to spawn a sentinel, but with these gloves on, minions' kills are being treated as killed by your character instead. The physical damage of Sentinels of Purity scales up really well with gem level, so to get the gem level up we've decided to take extreme measures and use the Crest of Desire helmet, a powerful rare staff, and an amulet, preferably Ashes of the Stars, but a rare one will work too. Additionally, there are some jewels and unique items dedicated to minions that are sourced from Herald skills, Circle of Guilt Rings and Medium Cluster Jewels. Since the build allows for an extra 6-link setup, we will also include Dominating Blow to spawn more minions. 4 is usually not enough. We've picked Guardian over Necromancer for his defensive capabilities. With Time of Need and some extra passives you can be completely immune to curses. Bastion of Hope ensures maximum block chance against attacks. Other keystones increase minions' performance. Sentinels of Purity and of Dominance are the main damaging minions. You can have over 10 minions from Dominating Blow, but the majority of damage still comes from the 4 or 5 minions you can summon from the Herald of Purity. You can get the gem level to 34 or even higher. The build has a lot of armor and a decent life pool of around 5,000. You're hex-proof, with high attack and spell block chance, high life regeneration, and you don't have to directly engage with opponents as it's a minion build. Most of the items are rare, so you could get various other upgrades. Clear speed is similar to that of any other minion build. These are very fast but use melee attacks with an extra splash. Single target damage is not abnormally high but rather mediocre, around 5 mil DPS. The price is high, mostly due to the helmet, amulet, and weapon. Gravebind gloves and a Crest of Desire helmet are mandatory for the build to function. Circle of Guilt Rings is another way to gain more damage. The rest of your gear should be centered around increasing skill gem level for Herald of Purity and protecting your own character, and there are not many unique items for that. Use the Crest of Desire helmet to host your Herald of Purity. Try to find one with a high roll level of socketed gems, up to 8. The Brass Dome is very powerful for when you need protection against elemental, physical damage, or critical strikes. It will slightly lower your maximum life. Gravebind gloves are a very important part of your setup. It makes the enemies killed by your sentinels count as being killed by you, which will spawn them again or refresh the duration. Ashes of the Stars is the preferred, but not mandatory amulet. The quality it grants is a bonus to your overall performance. The gem level is great, and reservation efficiency might be useful too. If you manage to cover your elemental resistances with rare gear, and your sentinels are durable enough, you can go for 2 Circle of Guilt Rings. Seek the modifier for increased sentinels damage, that's the only one that's important. If you really struggle with mana reservation efficiency, get the second mod to increase it. Quickening Covenant Jewel enhances attack speed and the chance to suppress spell damage for your minions, making them more durable. Fortress Covenant is another Covenant Jewel. This one increases damage and block chance for your minions. Socket both Covenant Jewels in your Cluster Jewels to take no penalty. There are some Forbidden Jewels you can look for if you have spare currency. Searing Purity is great if you take too much chaos damage. Conviction of Power would be good for 4 endurance charges. Pious Path can be decent when combined with Sulfur Flask and some Energy Shield. There aren't any remarkable modifiers to look for in a Watcher's Eye. You're using Pride and Determination, but all Pride mods are useless. Capping elemental resistances and gathering maximum life are your top priorities. After that, you can seek more block chance, chaos resistance, spell suppression chance, and energy shield if it's a hybrid build. The build will require more dexterity than you can gain just from the passive skill tree. Try to get that on jewelry and jewels. Speaking of which, there are approximately 6 jewel sockets you can fill in, that's quite a lot. Staves have a low chance for a prefix that increases the gem level of all spells and specific spells. You're looking for the physical ones. The best case is +5 to Herald of Purity, but you can settle for less, for that would be too expensive. Other, minion-related mods can be crafted. A regular body armor with a lot of maximum life and resistances would be good enough. For an upgrade, seek Hunter's mods for increased maximum life or additional curse. Rare boots are the best option. These should get you more movement speed, maximum life, and resistances of all kinds. On a belt, you can focus on maximum life and resistances. We recommend a Stygian Vice for an extra Abyss jewel socket. When going for a rare amulet, be sure that it increases the gem level of Herald of Purity by at least 1. If you manage to increase it by 2, it can even beat Ashes of the Stars. On top of that, seek regular defensive stats or dexterity. Bone rings are minion-oriented jewelry that could increase your minion's DPS, mobility, and survivability. You should also look for stats for your own character. Jewels can grant you some more maximum life, attributes, resistances, or minion damage. You can go for the Ghastly Abyss jewels with similar qualities as well. On the large cluster jewel, look for the regular physical damage notables, or ones for more maximum life for your minions. The more important role of this jewel is to host 2 medium cluster jewels. Cult Leader and Disciples are extremely good for your minions' DPS. Try to get both of them on 2 of your medium cluster jewels. When entering a map, use the Writhing Jar Flask to spawn worms, and then kill them to spawn your first sentinels. Take Rumi's Concoction Granite Flask for more block chance against spells and attacks. For your other flasks, pick a life one with instant recovery on use, a Basalt Flask for increased armor, and a Quicksilver one for an increased movement speed. These should remove bleeding or freeze on use, and increase your armor even more. Now for the skills setups. Herald of Purity is easy, just socket it in Crest of Desire. It's the main damage dealing ability. It summons powerful sentinel minions which use Attack, Slam, or Crusade Slam. The default version increases their movement speed, but the Divergent one is good for the cooldown recovery rate for their skills. After hitting an enemy with Dominating Blow and having them die shortly after, you're re-summoning them as your own Sentinels of Dominance. You can even have a rare one with Arch-Nemesis modifiers. The support gems here will work for your attacks and for the attacks of your minions. Link it with minion damage, brutality, melee physical damage, multi-strike, and melee splash support gems. Most of these have the awakened counterpart. Carrion Golem provides bonus physical damage to your other minions. You can get the anomalous version to increase this buff effect. It won't do much damage on its own, but enough to kill regular enemies. Link it with Maim, Feeding Frenzy, and Minion Life, or Culling Strike support gems. Prime. Enemies near you take increased physical damage. This effect is doubled after 4 seconds of continuous exposure. Determination adds and increases your armor, resulting in higher physical damage mitigation. Clarity regenerates your mana over time. If your mana regeneration is sufficient, replace it with Tempest Shield for spell block chance. Link these 3 with Enlightened support to reserve less mana. Nearby allies have increased accuracy rating, while enemies take increased physical damage as you're carrying the war banner. Molten Shell creates a protective barrier that mitigates incoming hit damage. It can take more damage before breaking the more armor you have, which is a lot. Use Convocation to recall all your minions back to you, and grant them a life recovery bonus. It's optional. Use Flame Dash to be more mobile, it teleports you over a short distance. If you can apply more than 2 curses, do so by casting an Arcanist brand once. It will trigger all linked spells every second. If you don't, just cast the 1 curse manually. Vulnerability makes cursed enemies take increased physical damage. The bleed part of this curse is not that important. It's the preferable curse. Punishment. Enemies that are low on life take increased physical damage. We recommend it as a second, optional curse, as it is a physical spell, so the gem level gets increased by other global modifiers. Killing all 3 bandits is the best way to approach the quest from Act 2. None of the bonuses you're presented with are good. For a major god, we've picked Soul of Lunaris, but it's not a very important choice here. Solaris and Aracali have equally good merits, depending on your approach to defenses and the content you run. There are also many minor gods worth recommending. We've chosen Soul of Shikari as our chaos resistance was relatively low. Go the protection against poison was a great addition. On the passive skill tree, try to accumulate maximum life and minion damage. There are a lot of such nodes on the top left side of the skill tree. Block chance will be important too later on. For the keystone pick Resolute technique to always hit with the dominating blow. Sovereignty is good for mana reservation efficiency. Asylum, to reduce the curse effect and gain chaos resistance. For masteries pick the maximum life ones as life masteries, increased effective auras as reservation mastery, increased defenses as staff mastery, determination reservation efficiency as armor mastery, unholy might, accuracy, and physical damage overwhelm for minions as minion offense mastery, and increased minions maximum life as minion defensive mastery. That is all for this video. We hope you've enjoyed it, and if that's the case, leave a like or subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.